Kola mecha wawelo.
Baby, we got it rolling this morning as we get our day underway in that coyote way, wouldn't you say? Here on the Hazy Radio Network with your morning wake-up call, the Coyote Medicine Show, don't you know? With Grandpa Coyote and his little assistant universal DJ here, Mr. Obi-Wan Kenobi, live and in person and in living color, right here sitting in my lap, sharing the wealth of his love with all of you guys, and saying, licky-loo and woof-woof too, babies. He's the dog, and he's the dog that's loving you right now, don't you see? Oh, isn't it nice to be alive and living in this reality and able to tune into the Coyote Medicine Show? Oh, babies, got you in the glow, got you in the heart. Hey, we got folks in distant places listening in again today, baby, so we want to welcome y'all, Russia, China, where else? Oh, Portugal. I wonder if that's little Kris Kringle out there. Might be. But we got a few extras out there today, man. Australia, New Zealand. I mean, goodness gracious, guys. It's worldwide, dancing with the Vibe Tribe, getting our hearts back to life here in the Coyote Way on the Coyote Medicine Show each and every day, Monday through Friday, from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., live and spontaneous, and then from 10 a.m. to high noon, this is mountain time we're talking here now, is a little 2-hour repeat performance. You get into Grandpa's Wayback Machine and see what's going on back there so we can remember what's happening here in the now, right? And how, babies. Whew. So anywho, now, as we undertake to get out from behind the plow, so to speak, to no longer serve in slavery, but in total and complete liberty, yeah. We get down to the livery stable and get our liberty too, man. We ride on that pale horse of love, unless our taste lean towards a carriage or something like that, in which case the pale horse be more than happy to pull that for you, right across the stars and the universal realities, and let you remember what's really going on here, you see. Do you remember the first time you stepped through the veil? I don't really know. I mean, I don't think I ever stepped out of it. I mean, it seemed like it was gone for a while, but then again, it was like always there. I can see it pretty plainly now, but sometimes when you're living in it and how you don't always know, you feel like it's natural to you, especially in your younger days. You feel like that's natural, that's nature, and you're really amazed when you realize that other people ain't seeing and feeling the way you are. You see that, maybe you were blessed like I was. I had a few friends and relatives pass, more than a few, when I was just a child, man. And I learned how to be with them, how to still keep their life alive inside of me, how to communicate with them. At first I was kind of baffled by death because it just didn't seem right. It still don't, but oh well. Here we are, you see. We're also the recipe that brings them all back to life, so there ain't no death. I mean, really, guys. That's what they're telling us each and every time they commune with us, you see. And I just remember that just from my childhood days, that these presences would come to me, Sometimes not always so pleasant, but I learned how to even handle those. It takes a long time, don't you know? But you find balance, you find control until you get in with a flow and the heart starts to reveal itself. Now that's a big step. That's a significant one. So maybe that's the moment to which I'm referring here now, because I don't think any of us really live outside the veil. We're just not always consciously present that we are seeing through it, that we are living through it, even though others around us are not, It's really baffling when you see that, when you realize that others don't, especially your parents and your siblings and so forth, they live in such a different world than you do, Your perceptions are completely and totally different, and it's no wonder that communications between you, even as a child, can get kind of strained. See, but babies, we're coming back to life, putting an end to all of that strife. What that means is getting peace about all that, getting over the childhood stuff, and being the child, alive and loving and living, because we love it, and we love being the child. So the child can be kind of wild, because it is. That's its normal nature, You look at broad, expansive places, or, broad, expansive jungles, tall mountains, whatever it is, and you feel home there. A little island out in the Pacific, and you feel home there. You feel your heart there. You feel your heart presence resonating with the land around you. Much in the way that we do here in that Coyote way out here in Crestonia, you know. I mean, it's not necessarily because there's a whole bunch of spiritual centers and stuff here. It's just the resonation of the life here. It's pretty much all across the Rocky Mountain High, from way up there in Alaska and Canada all the way down to Tierra del Fuego, down there at the tip of South America. The Rocky Mountains stretch all across that continent. They're not always called the Rockies, but it's the same range. Clear from one end to the other, babies, you betcha. Of course, it flattens out up there going towards the Arctic, but oh well. The presence of life exists in a glittering, glowing form inside of these mountains. The energy is high around them wherever you be upon them. Look at all the people that trek off to Peru to experience the higher sides of these mountains and get some ancient cosmic memories because of it coming back to them, and start to remember a framed connection with that life in the high mountains. 14,000 feet wasn't nothing in elevation back in those days that you start to remember, you see. Humanity has a vast and colorful history that hasn't even started to be revealed to you yet. We tell you a few tales here and there out of the past, you know, and you got to understand that comes from the filter of our heart too, see. So maybe you'll see it a little differently, but it's all right. It's all the same story. You see, it's quite metaphorical in its expression, yet we live it as a literal thing when we go through it, you see. But it is a living metaphor, each and every one of us in this life, and all of this life's experience too, a living metaphor. In other words, in its living, it suggests the broader expanse, the greater heart, being at rule here. And that all of this slavery and the illusion of slavery that we've subjected ourselves to, and baby, you won't believe how enslaved you have been. Just let your mind take you there and release yourself. See, you got to know first you've been enslaved, and how you've been enslaved, and why you've been enslaved. You know, understanding, in other words. So give yourself some time, and don't be too difficult with yourself. Don't be stubborn. Try to be open. Try to be as real as you can be about your feelings inside. Now, you don't have to tell them to another soul. The whole universe knows it anyway. You can't hide a damn thing. But anywho, if it makes you comfortable, just do it by yourself. Don't brag about it. Don't talk about it. You know, leave it alone. Guess what? Truth comes forward through you no matter what. You know, we're like little fountains of love. We're all like Kualin, you know, or however, whatever name terminology you give to that goddess of love that has the ever-flowing vase of love, you know, and the love poureth forward into creation and never stops. We're all that. We're all the living vessels of the loving universe, and all the love that's in it as it passes through us into creation. Our experience is the experience of the universe as a person, because that entire universe lives inside of us. See, in the cosmic reality, we're a reflective thing, and there's various stage and formats of us, yet it's a life that's lived simultaneously through all of these dimensions. So it's a little outside of time. Time is just a thing we chose to dream in for a while. You'll see its conclusion as daylight becomes bright, and there ain't never again no night, because it shines inside of you and all of creation too, you see. And then we fulfill our functions here quite differently than we ever have before, because we know that we've come to even the score, to bring back the equitous reality that seemed to be absent here. In other words, that other side to which others pass, and go experience the fullness of love again at last, and get some rest and recuperation so they can get on back here and do it again. You know, that becomes our reality too. And well beyond that ever-loving presence that's always here, that everybody's trying to outrun over on this side, you know. Yeah, see how the dark and evil dudes right now, they're beginning to squirm a little bit in their naivete. They were really hornswoggled this time. They thought they had their prize, and just as they go to put it in their mouth, it dissolves away, and they see a reality before them that's quite different than what they anticipated. And they feel inside of themselves this heart arising, in complete and total acceptance of itself, through understanding the role they've been given to play here, and of how deeply difficult that may have been. Oh my goodness. We got a lot of letting go in this reality. So babies, instead of focusing outside, first and foremost, focus inside. Let the outside reflect to you what's going on inside and try to heal it up there first, you know. They kind of go together though, and they are a simultaneous creation as we are throughout creation in all its dimensions. So in other words, the reason why the whole universe can tune into your life is because you live it simultaneous with the whole universe through all the dimensions and realities. And what you're experiencing here is only one tiny aspect of it. I call it the shadow world, or the shadowy world, because we're not really living in a shadow, but it's shadowy because we don't see the full reality. Well, until times of now, experiences like when you hear the angels singing Proud Mary in like a 17-level harmony beyond description, you know, but oh, you live a music like that. Just like you live a lot of the music here, man. It's kind of fun. Helps us get it clear, dear. You know, it is music therapy, but the music reminds us of the rock and rhythm of our soul and our beautiful dancing heart within that which is the center of creation for us as a person and for all of creation as our personal experience. You see how we can have all those experiences in different persons simultaneously now? And each one a little different flavor, a little different specialty in the aspects of love that becomes life and how we apply it. You know, spiritual mechanics, in other words, those that have a particular little aspect, spiritual musicians that have the one tone that fits in harmoniously with all and becomes the rockinest, groovinest rock opera ever beheld by any existence anywhere. You think humanity can expand into that? I think so. I think we're doing it right now, don't you know? Right here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network with Grandpa Coyote and Obi-Wan Kenobi and a whole bunch of angels and ancestors too, and a bunch of other beings, presences, and powers lined up at the door here, man. You won't believe how rowdy it's going to get as we continue from the Wowzer Wednesday on into whatever else reality has in store for us. Why should we believe it? Don't believe nothing. Let it prove itself to you. Let it resonate with your life and be living it. See, beliefs don't take you anywhere. They keep you trapped there in slavery, man. So you move beyond beliefs. You can attribute, you know, well, that seems reasonable to me, or that seems reasonable to me, but just be open in your beliefs. Be present in your heart and let it show you truth. It's way beyond belief. Way beyond any believing ever done here. And the most severest amount of belief could not bring this possibility into a reality. Because the reality already exists. And we just got to allow ourselves to see it. To give ourselves the time and the opportunity to be it. To notice that our inclinations and our natural way is to live mystically, is to see the creation, be the creation, in other words, to go with the flow of the heart, the intelligent heart. Now many people seem to commune and connect with that by doing some kind of primal little exercise that involves the third eye, which is the spirit eye, the mystical eye. I see it as the innocent eye of a child that sees all and therefore creates and experiences all, you see. It's that same childlike experience that we keep talking about here, you know. It's that one moment of love when creation expands happily, thoroughly entertained by itself. That's the Coyote way. That's the Coyote medicine. That's why we do it that way. So it will be entertaining, so we'll have some vim and vigor, as somebody used to say, and keep it underway no matter what else is going on, you know. And then we see incredible miracles like, you know, the transforming of the whole reality. But it starts within each one of us as that divine little presence that we are. And our acceptance of that is really so perfectly, purely simple. And that's why they try to complicate it. And my God, you wouldn't believe the disinfo and the info out there. They'll bury you in information, you know, about the transition and the transformation. You'll be so cosmically unaware that you'll miss it. At least that's what they're hoping for. But of course, it doesn't work that way. Even if you overload yourself with that stuff and try to cosmically make it happen by belief, well, the beliefs will dissolve. They'll be disproven rather immediately these days, and then you'll see what's real, and you can see what the flow is, and then you trust it, because then you know it. Then you're living it. See, that's the difference. Religions could only suggest to you what might be possible here, but at least they held the idea of being decent to one another for a change, even though they weren't, and no one else was either, but at least we held that as an ideal, an aspect of ourselves. No matter what religion it might be or how fanatical and crazy it could be. It didn't matter. It held that basic idea that the heart is life, and we should care, and we do care for one another, and we should treat each other the way we want to be treated, etc., you see. So it wasn't all bad. I mean, we had to get through it somehow, and so we resonated certain energies over here and certain energies over there, and another avenue of life completely removed from anything religious or spiritual. Like the peaceful old buffalo on the prairie, before he gets the thunder going anyway. He loves the thunder too, by the way. That's why they do it. The thunder of 1,000,000 pounding hooves on the prairie. Babies, you haven't lived until you've experienced that. Hopefully not standing in front of them trying to outrun them, because, well, you're going to get stampeded. But, up on a little knoll watching them pass by. Maybe standing on top of the Pawnee Buttes up there. Wow. I remember one time when I was out in the Pawnee Buttes, which are these big old nature's monuments to itself out there in the middle of nowhere in northeastern Colorado. I was experiencing some magic out there. I wasn't exactly standing on top of them. I was standing on the overlook looking at them. And babies, I was transported to a place where there I was many years before that, many years before that, standing atop one of those glorious rocks and watching that very buffalo herd, the millions of hooves pounding its way down these arroyos around the Pawnee Buttes, as they're called now, and on out into the prairie, and they were guided and directed by these pyramidic UFOs, you'd call them, rainbow-like in energy and structure and format, that were completely united and connected with the buffalo tribe. These were the so-called buffalo gods. And in the buffalo was the spirit of unity, the spirit of love in unity, and therefore they could move as a union, 1,000,000 souls in motion, in complete synchronicity, and keep the divine harmony alive this way. That's the thunder of the prairie. And that's the experience of it. And here you are standing on a butte 1,000 feet, maybe 1,200 feet above the thundering herd. And babies, its vibration comes right through your moccasins, right to the top of your head, right through your personal person. And you vibrate with the harmony of that eternal song of the heart, the thunder of the prairie, the buffalo hooves, 1,000,000 hooves in unison, in harmonic vibration, no one colliding with anyone, yet moving at the speed of light. Oh yeah, you got that right. There's magic on the prairies, there's magic in the mountains, there's magic wherever you be, even on that little island in Thailand, man. Everywhere you are, there's magic. It's you. It's your person. You live these stories because you love these stories, because you know these stories, because you are these stories, and you live those stories, richly so, for the benefit of the entire universe and the life beyond her as well. We're the partyingest fools ever created as human beings, as the divine presence in a human form. Each and every one of us, yet like the buffalo, that could hold that unity together as a tribe of 1,000,000 beings or so. Who knows how many there really is? There's no counting when the tribe is that large. And that was just one tribe. There were several other tribes roaming around those old prairies too back in those days. You wouldn't believe how great and massive the buffalo in energy was for so many years. Well before the red man came here, well before the white man even dreamed of this place. The buffalo were here, holding the survival of humanity in its heart by keeping the unity love alive. And so it's to the buffalo heart that we owe our sacrificial thank you. And forgive ourselves of all of the naughtiness we've performed here. Not understanding, living in a dumbed-down state. Well, we understand then that this was a forgivable thing, that the buffalo, by the very virtue of the buffalo gods before them, were able to preserve themselves in fullness. And if you listen, you can still hear the thunder of the buffalo hoofs upon the prairie. Millions of them. Maybe even 1 billion totally if you add up all the tribes. There must have been 10, 12 of them running around out there, of 1 million souls or more. Amazing, amazing experience that still lives, that still is the life. That's why one could stand upon those Pawnee Buttes in that magical place in what we call northeastern Colorado now and experience that thunder and that vision and that dream once again, because that's the reality. The warp place is the place where all the flies are so thick and the earth's so polluted and nothing lives out there anymore. Nothing wants to live out there anymore. It's so desolate that they put nuclear weapons in the ground out there. Well, not too close to the buttes, but within a few miles of it. Craziness exists in this world, doesn't it? But craziness with a purpose. Don't forget then the magic that you've experienced. If you've now experienced the thunder of the buffalo herd, and in that thunder have heard the very voice of creation, the voice of Great Spirit creating. And that, my friends, my brothers and sisters, is the song of your heart. How about that for a Wowzer Wednesday wake-up call, babies? You getting on with it? I certainly hope so. I certainly love it, don't you know? Oh yeah, let it go. Right here on the Coyote Medicine Show, don't you know? Here on the Hazy Radio Network, letting it go. Don't stand in the way. Let your miracle come into play. Be the life that you are. Be the love in motion. Be understanding of yourself. And give up on the old sadness and the fear and all that seemed to restrict you, dear. Just embrace your heart. And be what it'll allow you to be, whatever that is in this moment of time. It's very clear that you're here, that you're awake, aware inside of yourself, of not only your place of creation, but creation's place in you. It's a simultaneous thing. And here's what we do. We just let it go. Let it go on. Let it happen. Let it be today. Let it be now. And how? You see, we have a tendency to stand in our own way, to say, oh, ain't going to go with that one, don't you say? No. Let it be what it wants to be. When you feel it. When you know it. When the innocent child arises in full empowerment inside of you. And is still just as entertained in this day, in this moment, as it was back in that earlier moment. In its very tiny little childhood, where it was barely beginning to find the way, when it had experienced everyone, everything. See, it's just as sweet right now as it was then, and you're just as innocent and pure within it. I don't care if you're the Mafia Godfather. I don't care if you're the Pope of Rome. You're just as innocent in it now as you were before. As that tiny child before, quote, quote, they got to you. They was us. Us is creating a path for us. So like the old mother truckers that we are, we can deliver the goods again and again and again, so that this earthly reality becomes something more than what you see. It becomes what you truthfully are, what you truthfully be. That's your age of truth right there. See, so live in it. Don't be afraid to show others that you care, or don't care, as the case may be. Be honest inside. Take that honest ride. Sometimes it seems kind of bare, like you're naked out there, and it's like kind of embarrassing. The birds and the bees, they all see, and so do the trees. I mean, gee, many. But they feel more in union with you in your bareness. When your soul is there in rawness, when you're getting right down to the real feelings, The thin, shallow ones as well as the deep ones. All of them. When you're being honest and real about what's been going on. Then you can deal with what's real coming forward from inside. Because you've taken the honest ride. That's integrity arising. You may not even have known what that meant before, you know. I mean, we have this idea that it means morality and business and so forth. Weak shadow and representation of what integrity is. The ability to live in equity with life. That's the fullness of integrity, because you don't create disharmonious things that way, you see. It's just a matter of realization, of allowing yourself to be, of letting it go on and on and on and expand from your inner outer to your outer inner, inside where you are, inside that ever-loving smooth little hide where you take this ever-loving ride which is expanded into all of creation. Give yourself this time to experience this way. Give yourself the emotion. Allow it to be whatever it is. You'll correct anything that's inequity just by being able to see it, to be it for a moment in time. Embrace it all. And see how it embraces you too. See, that's the nurturing love. It's in all of the universe. It doesn't go away unless you push it away, which we've been trained to do. To deny it through and through. Darling, see, that goes back in our history to so far back we can't even remember where it began. Now, right now, we don't need to. We just see that that's the way it be, and then, therefore, it no longer is. This is how the prisoner steps out of the prison. This is how you set yourself free. See the way you've been, and now you see the way you be. You are the living love, in loving motion in its own creation, and loving every bit of it too, baby. Ooh, Grandpa, unraveling that old cosmic unreality, getting it clear through and through, right here with you, your heart, my heart, in you, in me too. See, it's the same throughout creation. There is a replication, not a duplication. Every heart is the original heart. Every life is the one person in all life. Whether it be a bird, a bug, or a euphonic presence flying by, as we call them. My, oh my, yeah, those are living machines, not created in the way of industry, but in the way of the industrial heart, which is creative and doesn't need a factory and a smelter, let alone a machine shop, to put anything together and make it work. Everything lives, so you just ask creation to be what you need it to be, and it is. Because it is love, and so are you. And it loves to do for you as well as with you. And because of you, too. See, the universe has taken the hearts of the most precious souls anywhere. Those that were able to feel and experience everything and still be expansive, radiant love, and placed them here in this earth reality as the children of the universe. That means that each and every human being in this reality, and I don't care if you live in, Russia or the Middle East or the US of A or Mexico or wherever, man. We're in it together. We're the personal experience of creation as our living self. As the presence of all life that lives. We're very, very blessed because of this ability, because we are the created children of the universe. And we are the creators too of the universe, which created us as the children of the universe. We're our own grandchildren, in other words, the grandfathers and mothers of life, which were at one time united, and there were no fathers and mothers. Sisters and brothers inside a singular hide, more or less. That's the way we took the original ride, and then we did divide. Again, it was that repetition of that need to experience outside ourselves what's going on within. Our need to be in creation, to have creation being us outside as well as within, and to be able to experience that all simultaneously. Much in the way the buffalo do when they're pounding across the prairie, creating the thunderous voice of the loving creation of the Great Spirit in all. Through its unity, it reflects into creativity, the very creative voice of the heart, which now reflects forward in you. You see, it's a replication. You are the one. The Messiah, that sees, that knows, in the innocent love, all that is pure here, and its place in creation. Me, sigh of contentment. Ah, I got it. You see how that works? All of these names are very metaphorical. Got to remember, we live in a cartoon, and there's a wry nature to all of our descriptions and all of our ways of being here, you see. And darling, all you got to do to get it clear is just give yourself a few moments in time. Just like you do here each and every day, Monday through Friday with Grandpaw. The old Koyote himself, the Koyote of love, of course, you know. The rock in his heart you ever found. Not always deep, not always profound, but baby's always around. And radiating that love no matter what else is going on. That's my living truth, and now it's yours too. And you can see it in every moment you want to be it. And that's all of them that you've been, are, or ever will be. It's all created right here in this moment, don't you see? Yeah, babies. Live the dream, love the life you're dreaming, and see where that takes you. Beautiful day here on this Wowzer Wednesday. Oh, goodness gracious, good golly almighty. Hugs all the way around, big hearts open, and oh, on every aspect of this old town we call Mother Earth, and the universal reality around us, babies. Just wait and see. Watch the sun today. Ooh, and watch the stars tonight. Many signs and wonders. Don't get in a fright, man. It's coming up. Pure delight. The wavering is the reality being exposed. Oh, and don't be afraid of the dead. Don't go out of your head when Uncle John comes over and sings you a song, or Aunt Jane says, hey, 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 I'm still around. I'm living down here in the cane because I like it down here. How about you? What you up to? And don't be surprised if you get this kind of communication today as you get your day underway. Hey, these are persons and beings that really care tremendously for you and about you and are here in loving assistance to you. See, no one really ever goes away. That's our illusion. Yeah, and how we've lived it. Hey, I'll see you again tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. here on the Hazy Radio Network for another exciting edition of the Coyote Medicine Show. That's 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Ooh, that's what, 6 a.m. Central, 5 here in the mountains, 4 a.m. for you sleepyheads over there in the Pacific Coast. Man, I don't know what it's going to take to wake you guys up. I'm going to have to get a bellows, a rather large bellows, and a bullhorn, man. We'll make some noise. We'll get you woke up one way or the other, especially you guys over there in the UK. Oh, hey. You guys are getting sweet. You're getting it right. I really love to see it. From a country that's been so uptight, such liberalism arising as to allow creation to be within you. Beautiful experience, isn't it? To all the rest of you in these scattered nations and tribes across this earth, thank you again for being here. And we'll see you again tomorrow morning, babies. Keep this thing underway. Don't get in your way. Okay? Papa loves you.
Well, you can't roller skate in the buffalo herd. Can't roller skate in the buffalo herd. You can't roller skate in the buffalo herd. But you can be happy if you've a mind to.